Hi guys. Today we are going to be talking about collagen and how to protect your collagen and how to stimulate your collagen. And so I thought, the first thing that I would talk about is what happens with aging and what happens to our collagen. And then sort of what our goal is in cosmetic dermatology and how we can help achieve that goal through skincare. Um, Collagen is the major building block of our skin, of our dermis, and our skin is made up of two main layers: the epidermis, which has its own layers, and then the dermis, which is mostly connective tissue. And when a doctor says connective tissue, what they mean is collagen, elastic fibers, and some other things, but mostly collagen. So when our skin ages and gets uh, older, either just through age or through sun damage or through both, we get weaker collagen and weaker elastic fibers, and we get less of it. And our fibroblasts, the cells that are in our skin producing collagen elastic fibers, start to slow down. And as they start to, and there's a sort of a vicious cycle where collagen over time starts to sort of get frayed and broken like a rope's edges. And as the collagen starts to fray, it holds the fibroblasts, the cells that are making it, holds them less tightly. The fibroblasts respond to that kind of weaker, frayed collagen, and they start slowing down their production of collagen. So when we're trying to use skincare or in-office treatments for anti-aging, what we're trying to do is to tell the fibroblasts, pretend you're young again, produce more fresh collagen. Hi, Basil and Sage. Nice to see you. So we do that in several different ways. We might use laser to kind of cause some destruction, damage some of that frayed collagen, get rid of some of that frayed old collagen so that the fibroblasts start making new, fresh, firm collagen. And there are a bunch of other ways we might do it. Light stimulation, things like that. So I will get into that. So, we're trying to fool our fibroblasts in our dermis to make more collagen and more elastic fibers. The first way that we can do that is by preventing photoaging. So obviously we age, but when you look at an 80-year-old's butt, it's a nice white, or whatever their skin color is, nice butt with that might be a little wrinkly or a little lax, but doesn't have sunspots, doesn't have precancerous spots. It's fresh skin, so you can tell that they, even though they're naturally aging, the worst part of their aging is in sun exposed areas like their face, their neck, their décolleté, their lower legs, their arms. And so you get increased aging of the skin and increased damage of the skin over time, not just with aging, but with sun. And so we call that photoaging. When you get ultraviolet rays, you get an increased production of enzymes in the skin that start to fray your collagen and break down your collagen. So the first step to, doing cosmetic dermatology and skincare that's going to help you stay young and look young is sunscreen. And that, I know you've heard many dermatologists say that, but it's really kind of the most important first step. So one area that is often neglected is the lips. I have some on right now. I love Supergoop. I think Supergoop is amazing. You want to try to invest in a lip balm that has SPF in it. The lower lip gets a lot of sun exposure, and the lower lip, the lips are mucosal. They're not protected by as much skin, by as much, dead skin cells as the rest of our skin. And so you can get a lot of sun damage on your lower lip. These are higher risk skin cancers. The lip starts to get scaly all the time, like as if you always have chapped lips, and sometimes that's just from sun damage. So really try to invest in an SPF sunscreen. Your lips are going to be somewhere where you want to keep that collagen elastic fiber, so you have nice plump lips for a long time, and that's going to start to get broken down by ultraviolet rays. Other sunscreens that you could consider using are either mineral or chemical blockers. Chemical blockers are great because they're really cosmetically elegant. Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen is like everybody's favorite because it goes on so clear and so easily. It feels really nice and silicone-y. And it's a chemical blocker, which just means that the molecules in the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen absorb ultraviolet energy and disperse it. And so these chemical blockers can be very clear. They can be very cosmetically elegant. It's a little bit harder to do that with mineral blockers like zinc and titanium. More expensive products will have zinc and titanium that blends really nicely, but some of the less expensive ones, like the drugstore brands, might go on with sort of a white cast, which is not, super attractive. If you're looking for a mineral blocker, which I do recommend to people who have melasma or other conditions that are really photosensitive, I recommend Supergoop Matte Screen. It's it's a mineral blocker with a little tint to it. When a sunscreen has some tint, it usually uses iron oxide, which helps to block visible light, including blue light. And the sun emits a lot of visible light clearly because that's what gives us daytime. And the main, a huge portion of that is blue light, and that can stimulate hyperpigmentation. It's the closest visible light color to ultraviolet. So when we, are talking sunscreen, we want to cover both UVB, going into UVA, going into blue light, and tinted mineral sunscreens are going to block the most blue light. So if you're looking for a mineral blocker, then the Supergoop Matte Screen is the way to go. Supergoop has some great body sunscreens as well. I really like this. I really like this. The Glow Oil. I find like putting sunscreen on your arms really sort of unpleasant. This does not feel unpleasant. It feels sort of like an oil. It sort of spritzes on. It looks really like clear and nice, feels good, smells good. So I think Supergoop is a fantastic company, but you want to protect your, certain areas of your body that are going to get a lot of sun, because areas where I see people photo aging the fastest is the back of the neck, the chest, the forearms, and the dorsal hands. Here you get a lot of brown spots on your hands, so protect your hands. And lower legs, I see a lot of skin cancers on the lower legs, especially in women because of skirts and things like that. So you have to be really careful with the shins, because you don't want to start to develop skin cancers there as you get older. I think cosmetically in women, what's really important is the décolleté, because you're going to wear a lot of like lower cut things. I see a lot of women with a lot of wrinkling and sun damage here that, it's harder to treat than on the face. And so you want to protect your collagen, your elastic fibers in this area too. So make sure you have a good body sunscreen. Supergoop has another one that's just for around the eyes, which I don't think is necessarily necessary, but I really like it, and I use it because it has a little tint to it, but it's sort of like a light colored tint, and I feel like it just gives you a little bit of light reflection here, which kind of just makes your eye area look nice, and it gives you a little moisture as well. So it's, kind of like a pleasant way to sort of apply sunscreen. This is a mineral and really, really easily. So, the eyelid skin is the first area that people, men and women, start to see aging. And so I see people in their 20s, like mid 20s, who come in and are starting to notice aging already in the eye area because the skin is so thin there. There's not that much collagen, um, to spare. And so when you get a lot of sun damage in this area, you start to see, thinning of the skin, wrinkling under the eyes, volume loss here. And so sunscreen has been shown not only to prevent that collagen destruction, but also to help even regenerate it a little bit and help to anti-age us in a way. So sunscreen is always the most important first step. Let's move on to something sort of skincare adjacent, which I just think is interesting. And this is red LED light. A lot of people ask me, like, what's the best at-home LED light? Is it worth it? I think it is worth it if it's going to be something that you're going to do regularly. I think if you buy it and it stays in the closet, then it's not worth it. But if it's something that you'll like to use a few times a week, just sort of like as a ritual, where you put on the mask and you get red light stimulation to your skin, it's been shown to be helpful for collagen stimulation. Red light is just visible light, but in these masks, and then when we do the in-office treatments, they're a little stronger. Red light has been shown to stimulate the mitochondria or the energy factories in the fibroblasts in the dermis. And by stimulating the energy factories in the fibroblasts, it increases the fibroblast activity. And fibroblasts are the cells that make collagen and elastic fibers. So studies have shown that with consistent use of red light in the office, you get increased collagen tendrils, increased elastic fibers in the skin when they do biopsies from before and after. So it really has been shown to work. The at-home treatments are not as strong, but the total energy that you get is similar to what you get in the office with fewer treatments. So if you're going to use the at-home ones regularly, then you will get the same benefit, theoretically. So I think, as a sort of a non-skincare energy-based device, I think it's a great device to use at home. It's also really safe. You can't really burn from red light because, again, it's just visible light. And so, I think it's a great treatment. What I like about this company is that they also have one for the neck and chest, which, like I said before, is a difficult area to treat once you see a lot of aging in this area. So when you see a lot of aging in the neck, you start to get bands and wrinkling of the skin here, it's much harder to treat non-invasively. Probably people, who come in and are struggling with their neck, many of them are going to have to be told, if you want to lift the skin here, that might be a surgical lift, like a neck lift. It's very hard to do that with lasers and non-invasive treatments. So, the best thing you can do is to protect it with sunscreen and then use skincare or skincare adjacent devices that help to stimulate and protect your collagen here and prevent your neck from ever getting, super photo aged. So I think this is really cool that they have a neck and décolleté piece. Let's talk briefly about collagen supplementation. There's not great evidence for collagen supplementation. I don't routinely recommend this to patients, but there's some potential evidence. Basically what happens when you eat protein like a collagen is that it gets broken down into its component amino acids in your digestive tract, and you absorb those amino acids and they are used for whatever your body needs them for. And collagen doesn't necessarily go from your gut into your blood and into the skin. It's broken down. The amino acids are used wherever they're needed. But, you know, something, then there, you know, theoretically, there's some possibility that, you know, if you have enough substrate, you're going to create more of the product. And so, you know, taking oral collagen supplementation means that you know you're getting, you know, all of the amino acids that you need for collagen building. And so it's definitely not going to hurt, and it may help a little to kind of like stimulate increased collagen production. This is the one that I usually recommend to people when people want to use this. It is from fish scales, but it doesn't have any flavor or smell. So you can mix it with just plain water and it just tastes like water and it just dissolves. So these would be the ones that I would recommend if somebody wanted to use collagen supplementation. Another thing that I love, another ingredient that I'm sure everybody's heard of is glycolic acid or alpha hydroxy acid. Alpha hydroxy acids are typically fruit acids. They're fruit derived. And what they do is they break down the layer of skin just below the dead cell layer, the stratum corneum, and give you chemical exfoliation. Glycolic acid is the smallest of these molecules, get the most penetration from glycolic acid. And glycolic acid has actually been shown in skincare or in chemical peels to influence the dermis, either by getting to the dermis, probably not, or just by that cell turnover stimulating fibroblasts to create more collagen in the dermis. So this is a skincare ingredient that has been proven to increase collagen production. So I love glycolic acid, and I do recommend this to people, and I use it myself. And there's many different formulations that you could use with glycolic acid. So this one is a mask. So this one you put on, you leave on for about 15 minutes, and then you wash it off. You can do it a couple times a week to once a week to once every few weeks, and you're getting you know, a stronger application of glycolic acid for exfoliation effect and for a collagen stimulating effect. The collagen stimulating effect, the exfoliation effect happens after one use. The collagen stimulating effect is after, you know, periodic use for a long time, because that constant exfoliation and regeneration stimulates your dermis to thicken up with more collagen and elastic fibers. So I think alpha hydroxy acids, such as glycolic acid, are a great way to help stimulate collagen. Another option for getting your glycolic acid in your skincare is with a face wash. This one I've been using and I really like. It has, I think it's here. I think it's 10% glycolic acid, which you know, is nice to incorporate into your skincare with a cleanser, because it's a great way to get another active into your skincare. You have to wash your face anyway. If you're going to use a cleanser, it can be just a gentle cleanser with, you know, no actives in it, or you can find a glycolic acid wash like this one that is going to chemically exfoliate you and give you, again, that collagen stimulation with repetitive use. Another option for getting your glycolic acid is with a peel pad. So these are Indie Lee peel pads. I think they're like 8% glycolic acid. Anything sort of around, you know, 5 to 10% is great. They come in little pads like this. You just rub them on your face after cleansing, like in place of a toner, and you get, you know, a layer of glycolic acid that way, and you can get some chemical exfoliation that way, and again, with repetitive use, collagen stimulation. Another way that you can get glycolic acid, which I've been liking recently also, is this alpha peel. This is something that you put on at night, and you let the alpha hydroxy acid kind of sit on your skin all night. Your sleep is a time where your skin regenerates itself, and it's a great time to sort of introduce actives. Obviously, you don't want to overdo it, but sleep is a great time to have, you know, to add actives onto your skin, and then to wake up with sort of like fresh, dewy skin in the morning, And so this is a great way to do that. And so essentially, you can get glycolic acid into your skincare with cleansers, or a mask. So I would encourage most people to, incorporate glycolic acid into their routine. It's relatively gentle. You just don't want to overdo it. If you're incorporating something new, you want to build it in, sort of slowly. It can be irritating when used with retinol, but it can be used with retinol in conjunction. So, you just have to make sure that you're not getting irritated by things. Retinol is the next thing that we'll talk about. Retinol is a really important ingredient in dermatology. This is a retinol serum and oil. Retinol is vitamin A. Essentially, we use retinol a lot in dermatology, either in its pure vitamin A form or in a form called a retinoid, which is a derivation of a retinol. And retinoids are usually prescription, and they're just stronger versions of retinol. Retinol does a lot of stuff in the skin. It's often thought of as an exfoliator. It's not really an exfoliator. It actually kind of speeds up and normalizes the way the skin is turning itself over. And so it gets absorbed into the keratinocytes, which are the cells in the epidermis, and it changes the way they're programming themselves, and it causes them to go from layer to layer in a sort of a more normalized and a little bit more rapid way. And as it does that, it, similar to glycolic acid, gives you collagen stimulation, so it's anti-aging. It also gets rid of sun damaged cells because it's kind of speeding up the recovery of the skin. So it gets rid of, so it's anti-skin cancer and gets rid of precancers. It gets rid of pigmentation because your old skin cells don't have as much time to hang around. They will accumulate melanin from the melanocytes as you get sun damage, and that's what gives you brown spots and freckles. And this will speed up the the skin cells, so that a lot of the ones that are holding on to melanin granules and giving you discoloration are shed. It also prevents sticky dead skin from accumulating on the surface of the skin, giving you a kind of a rough or dull appearance, and prevents that sticky skin from getting caught in the follicles, the opening of the follicles, which causes acne. So it's anti-acne, anti-aging, anti-skin cancer. It's anti-hyperpigmentation, gives you a nice glow because it reduces the dull, rough skin. So it's a really, really important sort of powerhouse of an ingredient in dermatology. And I do encourage most people to find a retinol or a retinoid that they can tolerate and like using. Retinol, the vitamin A, pure vitamin A, pure retinol is tolerable for most people. People with rosacea and very sensitive skin may have a little trouble, especially with a retinoid, which is a much stronger version. But retinol is usually gentle enough for most people. And you would start slow. With the retinol, you want to start very slow, give your skin time to what we call retinize. You want to start like twice a week at night only. Do it twice a week for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you go up to 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, until you can do it every night. You will get to be able to do it every night. There are people who come in and say they tried a retinoid or a retinol and it made them red and peely, so they must be allergic to it, and they stopped using it. That's probably not the case. You're probably not allergic to it, especially if it's just vitamin A. You can't be allergic to vitamin A because we need vitamin A to survive. So you are probably not allergic. You probably just didn't give your skin the chance to retinize. So you have to go much slower, and you slowly build it up. If you get red and peely, you hold back for a few days, and then you start again once your skin is normalized. You can sandwich retinol in between moisturizer. So you put on some moisturizer, then you put on your retinol, and then you put on moisturizer again. So you make sure that you're being really gentle with your skin, except for adding that retinol in. The last product that I will talk about is what I would call a medical grade cosmeceutical. This one is called Hero. It's based on a molecule called HX1 that has been shown to help reduce inflammation in cells that contribute to aging. And when, especially as you get into your 40s and 50s and you need some skincare that, was really kind of a heavy hitter and is going to give you that collagen stimulation that you need, you want to find medical grade cosmeceuticals. These can come as peptides, which are little segments of protein that stimulate fibroblasts to make more collagen elastic fibers. They may be growth factors, which also are stimulating molecules and stimulate the fibroblasts to make more collagen elastic fibers. Or they may have another mechanism of action that has clinical trials behind it and that's been proven to protect cells from aging or stimulate fibroblasts to have a younger phenotype and be making more collagen elastic fibers. So that's the case with this one. This one is something when you are going to spend money on skincare, I like to tell people that it should have an active that you know is useful, like glycolic acid, niacinamide, vitamin C, retinol. Or it should have clinical trials that show that you're getting more collagen production, more elastic fiber production, reduction in wrinkles, reduction in pigment, that kind of thing. You should also, if you're going to spend money on skincare like this one, put it on first. So you want to get the most absorption from this. So put on, wash your face with a cleanser, and then when your skin is fresh and there's nothing on it, put on your anti-aging serum, and then you can cover that with moisturizer, sunscreen, whatever else you want. But if you are going to spend the money on skincare, you want to make sure you get absorption into your skin. The skin does a really good job of preventing things from absorbing. It protects us from our environment, but you want to get the most out of your skincare, and you want the most absorption. When we do lasers in the office, we'll sometimes use the injury that the laser creates to apply products and get better penetration of your products, because healthy skin does a really good job of preventing penetration. That's another reason why you want to look for ingredients that we know can be absorbed by the skin, that we know get into the skin where we want it to get. There's certain alpha hydroxy acids like citric acid, like citric acid, that kind of like is such a big molecule that it sort of sits on top of the stratum corneum and doesn't really get to where we want it to be. In that way, they're a little more gentle and they do give you a little bit of exfoliation, but the smaller molecules like glycolic acid or lactic acid actually get into the epidermis where we want them to go and give you that, real exfoliative effect that we're looking for with alpha hydroxy acid. So, there are certain things that are, advertised to be in skincare, but it doesn't mean that they're well proven to be absorbed or well proven to help you at all. So when you're spending money, make sure you're spending on something that has, some evidence behind it. So that is my live for today. I am on Instagram or on this app. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I usually answer my DMs, and I hope you enjoyed the topic. Yeah, I'm here if you have any questions. All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys.